All right, it's day 7. It's getting a little colder in Texas, so now I'm wearing a jacket. And I'm excited. I've got maybe too many rants I could do today. Sorry, water in my glass. This is Roe & Co. So this is, Diageo used to own Bushmills and then sold it. And this is their return to the Irish whiskey category. And it's hand-selected single malts and grains, blended, and then matured almost exclusively in bourbon casks. And by then, I mean, by whiskeys matured almost exclusively in bourbon casks. It's about 45%, or is 45%. Now, I'm one of you guys, one of the viewers, and there's two things. One, I'm shooting these, batch shooting these all in November, because I need to be able to get these out every day in December, and I've got a bunch of classes in December. I'm not going to have time to do it. So you are not going to see me reading comments or responding to comments in this, but I will try in the videos. I will try to be more engaged in the comments of these videos as we go through this together. And I bought a whole other whiskey advent calendar of this one so I could try them again each day with you to remind myself what we're talking about each day. So there you go. First off, pause for the notes. All I get in this is super Irish biscuit and vanilla, and I mean shortbread biscuits, as in shortbread biscuits. Rex. Roe & Co. is named after George Roe, who was one of the biggest names in Irish distilling for a long time, actually neighbor with Guinness, and the largest distillery at one point in Dublin. So Diageo is tagging back into history, and here's what I will say about Diageo. Diageo is hated the way that any large company is hated. When they have a lot of sway, a lot of control over what happens, and yes, there are scenarios where you could get really annoyed by the decision making from Diageo. But another thing about Diageo is they have absolutely spent a ton of money in the history of whiskey, rebuilding distilleries and tasting rooms to accent the actual history of Scottish distilleries. So as much as they have made decisions that made some people angry, they've also invested a ton of money in the real history of ancient whiskey distilleries and reviving brand names. And so, you know, it's like any other big brand, Apple. You're going to have people who love what they're doing on certain terms. They're going to have people who just loathe them with every fiber of their being. I think it depends on the scenario. So I'm excited to see what they did. This is Carolyn Martin, is the Diageo's master blender, and she helped create this, or created this whiskey. And the nose just pretty characteristic Irish malt. Damn. What Carolyn made is essentially a perfectly blended Irish malt grain whiskey. It's damn, it's not boring, it's not thin, it's not overly complex, it doesn't have as many of the bitter notes as some Irish whiskeys can. It's as classic as a Redbreast 12. Hot damn. And so one of you guys came and stopped by, that was Craig McCombsey, and I gave him a little baby version of this from another one I had, and he tasted it and fell in love and then said, crap, now where am I going to find this? The answer is don't know. I don't even know if we can get this in Austin. I'm going to have to start looking, because I would keep this one on the shelf as just a classic Irish blend. This is up there with Writer's Tears, which is a good blend. This is up there with the Spots. I think this would be closer to Yellow Spot than Green Spot. There's no real aftertaste to this. It's all the light Irish things like vanilla and pear and butter cookie and butter biscuit. I was just trying to throw a nod to Rex there. And hell yeah, Carolyn Martin. And by the way, if anyone wants to tell you, it's new that there's women in whiskey, everyone. It's a new thing. Those people are not paying attention. Women have been kicking ass in whiskey for a long time, and they are getting more and more big players as in charge of distilleries, master blenders, master distillers. One of the first people to take on the moniker of whiskey sommelier was Heather Green, who is just a damn whiskey badass, doing amazing new things in whiskey. Allison Patel, I think now she's back to her maiden name. But Allison, as much as I don't really like Brent all that much, Allison's doing amazing work in whiskey and innovative and cool, and then some of our sommeliers, a good 30% of whom are women, are doing just kick-ass stuff in whiskey. So don't let anyone tell you that women in whiskey is a new trend. It's not. It's been going on for a long time, and they've always been a big voice in the direction of whiskey. And as well they should be. You know, I don't really have much to say about this Irish whiskey other than that I really like it. And I think we're just going to stop there. Nothing surprising. But they made a decision to do no chill filtration and just a decent blend. Well done. Well done on this one. I like this better than that special edition 13-year-old Irish whiskey we had a few days ago. All right, until tomorrow, may your crazy stay this side of legal, and may you return before we have time to miss you. Cheers.